Hello everybody and welcome to the Import-Export Hub channel. Bogdan here, your not so boring host for the next couple of minutes. I hope that you are all doing great, and guys, without further ado, let's dive into today's topic, in which hopefully I will manage to shed some light on the free trade zone concept, special economic zone, or the foreign trade zone as it is known in the United States. A topic which gained a lot of popularity over the last few decades, especially in the emerging economies of Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. And guys, from the first free trade zone at the Shannon Airport in the late 1950s in Ireland, the model has developed further, proliferated, and according to the latest estimations, right now there are approximately 2,200 free trade zones spread around the world. And since then, so the late 1950s, a variety of different zone setups have developed, all under the umbrella of special economic zone concept. And from my point of view, the most important ones are the classic free trade zone, which is typically located at the port of entry. They are all fenced-in, duty-free areas offering warehouses, storage, and distribution facilities for trade, but also transshipment and, very important, re-export operations. The second most important type is related to export processing zones, not necessarily limited to a particular location, which are industrial estates aimed primarily at foreign markets. So as the name suggested, it mostly towards export-related manufacturing activities. And finally, the third most important type, again from my personal point of view, are the so-called specialized zones. I'm sure that you all heard of them, which can be, I don't know, technology or science parks with the aim of promoting high-tech and science-based industries, or another example could be related to financial services, for the development of, I don't know, offshore financial services, or another example could be related to logistics parks, where the aim is to support logistics operations in that particular zone. These zones have played and still play an important role in the economies of many countries, and basically they represent a well-defined area in which companies are subject to special rules that differ from those in the rest of the country. And most of the times investors are granted tax breaks, duty exemptions, and other financial incentives in order to establish their operations in those particular zones. Another important thing to mention here is that the businesses located inside these free trade zones benefit from simplified administrative procedures like customs formalities, and of course from a high quality infrastructure. And in terms of definition, well, basically, a free trade zone is any location where goods can be shipped, handled, transformed, manufactured, reconfigured, and then, very important, re-exported without the intervention of customs agencies. And usually a major seaport, international airport, or border facility between two or more countries may be designated as a free trade zone. When goods are shipped outside the free trade zone, so not being re-exported, then customs duties apply, and where, I don't know, a free trade zone doesn't exist, a company selling products into a foreign market may opt to use a bonded warehouse in order to store those goods without paying duties. But guys, maybe I will make a video dedicated to bonded warehouses in the future. Also, a very important thing to consider about these zones is that they are widely used as an economic policy instrument, especially in the emerging and developing countries, as I've said it earlier, as a way to create an attractive investment environment for companies with the aim of attracting foreign direct investments, or increase and diversify the exports, or, I don't know, maybe to create jobs. And looking at the few research papers available for this topic, in order to do some research for this video. Most of the governments, when developing these zones and then of course marketing them, expect know-how spillover or technology transfers, but most of the time this doesn't happen. So if you ask me, this is wishful thinking coming from the governments hosting these special zones, and there is still a lot to do in order to better regulate these zones at an international level. But anyways, I'm not here to say if knowledge or technology spillovers are transferred or not, if the environmental or working conditions are met or not, or I don't know how easily a business can move their operations to another free trade zone located in another country, if of course it suits their needs. There is a lot of debate here about this, and I'm not lobbying against or in favor of such zones. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how free trade zones works. And now guys, moving to my last part of the video, I would like to show you the top 10 global free trade zones for 2020 coming from fdiintelligence.com, which is a publication controlled by the Financial Times. And basically we have DMCC from the United Arab Emirates, who was the global winner, I think, for the 6th consecutive time, with an important, very important cluster of smartphone assembly plants who are then exported virtually everywhere in the world, but with the Middle Eastern countries driving most of the imports from the United Arab Emirates. And basically, guys, we see how in just 5 years, the exports increased from $3.5 billion to some $17 billion in 2020. On the second spot, we have Tanger Med from Morocco, who was the winner for Africa, but it was second overall with its manufacturing and trading hub strategically located between Africa, Europe, and the Atlantic. On the third spot, we have Lodz, Special Economic Zone in Poland. Then we have an unpronounceable name from China, sorry guys. On the fifth spot, we have Cayman Enterprise City from Cayman Island. On the sixth spot, we have Mahindra World City, Chennai from India. Then we have Coyol Free Zone from Costa Rica. On the 8th place, we have Ras Al Khaimah Economic Zone from the United Arab Emirates. So basically, the United Arab Emirates has 2 free trade zones in this top 10 list. The 9th place belongs to Mauritius Freeport, and finally on the 10th spot we have Freeport of Ventspils from Latvia, with a diversified base of manufacturers, logistics, and service providers, which, if you ask me, it will grow even more in the years to come. So guys, these were the top 10 free trade zones in the world, each with its competitive advantage or field of specialization and gateways. And with this being said, my presentation for today is over. Thank you all for watching. I really hope that you've liked it. Don't forget to hit those tiny buttons below this video. And as usual, until next time, keep your business safe. Thanks.